Now, planning a spring wedding doesn't have to cost an arm and a leg. There are some ways to have your wedding cake and eat it too. Now, Megan Weisberg knows all about planning recession weddings, and she joins us from mwweddings.com with tips on how to save money. Thanks so much for being here today. So you've got some great tips, and a lot of it is do it yourself, right?
Indeed.
So let's start with how you prepare for the wedding. First things first, we've got save the dates, and this is a great idea. Tell me what we have here.
Great. So what you can do is find a custom stamp designer. This was done for about $30, including shipping. Get your custom stamp done. You can put a cute little Golden Gate Bridge on it if you're getting married in San Francisco. Get an ink pad, some of your favorite stationery, and you're all set.
Perfect. So that's what we have here, this little custom stamp. And you just take, where would you get this kind of paper?
You can get that at any of your local stationery stores, Papyrus, Michaels, really any of them.
Okay.
It looks like it needs a little more ink.
Yeah. Well, we'll work on the ink. But there are some other do-it-yourself tips you have. You can also make your own invitations, right?
You can. You absolutely can. Jessica Adams is one example of a bride who made her own invitations. Just really got creative with it.
And are these, is that this here or the ones that you sent us pictures of?
The pictures of.
Okay, so we have some pictures of that, but take a look at this. We've got some tips here. So, of course, make your own save the dates. Also, make your own invitations and learn calligraphy to make those invitations. That's something a lot of people waste money on, getting someone else to do that for you, right?
It is, and it's simple enough to go to your local bookstore, grab a calligraphy book, and just spend a couple of months just having some fun, you know, and learning how to do calligraphy.
Okay, and here's one of the examples of an invitation that is homemade. Now, do you have any suggestions on how to do this to make them look beautiful like that?
That is absolutely beautiful. This is actually from a local designer in the East Bay, Jessica Muzio. And one of her great tips that when you're making your own you can do as well is to go onto a clip art site, grab some clip art. Here she's changed the proportions and added some different colors.
Okay, so and when prepping for the ceremony, you've got to do the table cards and the table numbers and all of that. And you say you can also make those yourself.
You absolutely can. It's a great idea if you go to different wedding blogs or perhaps pick up a Martha Stewart wedding magazine. There's some great tips in there for how to do it on your own. See what you like out there and then really just start and try.
Okay, so we've got that, and then you can also say make your own cake, which is something I wouldn't think of, but we've got some really cool pictures that you've sent us of people who've made their own cakes, and it's not that big, the big wedding cake that you think of. It's the little individual cakes, right?
Exactly. A lot of people, when they hear make your own wedding cake, they immediately think that they're going to need to learn how to make a 3-tiered fondant-covered confection, which really isn't the case. And this example that we have here are almond cakes. The bride made them about 4 months before the wedding. She froze them.
Really?
Indeed. So then you don't want to have to deal with the hassle of baking before your wedding. She froze them, de-thawed them before, and you can see there's a lovely powdered sugar design with some flowers accenting them. Place them on vintage plates. There's some great vintage cake stands, and you're all set.
And sticking with the actual day of wedding saving tips, create your own centerpieces. We've got an example here, and you say a lot of this stuff you can just find at home.
You can. It's a really great idea to look into your cupboard, see what you have. I know a lot of us save, you know, glass pasta jars for pasta sauce that we've used. Here what you can do is go to your local fabric store, grab some fabric, place it around the glass, and then you can just throw in any kind of flowers that you like.
That's really interesting. And of course, you can pick the fabric that matches your colors and color coordinate. A couple other money-saving tips. We've got the shot glass here. You say one of the big things is you don't want shots at your wedding. That'll save on alcohol costs, right?
It does. I think we've probably all been to weddings where one of the guests comes over to the table during dinner or maybe after, and they've got a tray of shots for everyone, thinking they're being very generous, and maybe only 2 people take them. So a great way to cut down on costs and the waste of the alcohol is to simply say no shots to the bartenders.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Some great money-saving tips. It was a pleasure.